We got it.
I think we are.
Okay, time is 6:01 and the Pharr Planning and Zoning Commission will come to order. Roll call,
Danny Wiley,
present.
Charlie Ramirez, Jonathan Laraga,
Present.
Romeo Robles,
Present.
Rafael Munguia,
Present.
Luis Madrigal, Andy Castro. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Need
I'll make a motion to excuse the absentees.
a,
I will second.
okay, all those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Public testimony, anybody signed up?
No one signed up, Mr.
Anybody
Chairman.
here? Okay, we move on. Approval of the minutes of June the 28th, 2021.
If there are any comments, Chairman, I move to approve the minutes in the last
Okay.
meeting.
I'll go ahead and second.
Robert seconded. Okay, all those in favor say aye, raise your right hand.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Public hearing.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Anaisa Licerio, Planner 1 with the City of Pharr. This evening, we have 3 items for your recommendation. Item number 1, Meldon and Hunt, Inc., representing Maria D. Alvarez, owner, has filed with the Planning and Zoning Commission a request for a change of zone from Residential Multifamily District, RMF, to Residential Multifamily High Density District, RMF HD, in order to develop and construct 1 duplex and 1 fourplex. The subject site is located on the south side of West Sam Houston Avenue and has a physical address of 229 West Sam Houston Avenue. The property is legally described as being 0.538 of 1 acres out of lots 1 and 2, Block 1, the Van Williams subdivision, Pharr, Hidalgo County, Texas. The property fronts West Sam Houston Avenue, an 80-foot major collector that runs east and west with the posted speed limit of 30 miles per hour or less as identified in the City of Pharr's thoroughfare plan. The property is currently zoned Residential Multifamily District, RMF. On March 30th, 1982, the property and the property to the north, east, west, and south were zoned to Single Family Residential District, R1, when the city adopted the zoning ordinance we use today. On August 2nd, 2010, a portion of the property was rezoned to Neighborhood Commercial District, NC, and later on August 19, 2019, the other portion was rezoned to Neighborhood Commercial District, NC. A portion of the property to the north was rezoned to General Business District C on May 15, 2007, and the other portion to the north was rezoned to Residential Multifamily High Density District, RMF HD. On May 3, 2021, the subject property was rezoned to Residential Multifamily District, RMF. There have been no other zoning requests within the vicinity of the subject property since that time. The property is generally designated for commercial use in the land use plan. The Residential Multifamily High Density District is established to provide adequate space and site diversification for medium to high density areas. This may be a zone for transitional areas developed for single-family usage, but because of the need for rehabilitation or changes in the character of the neighborhood, are now deemed suitable for some multifamily development. This zone allows medium to high density developments and should be located where additional requirements for streets, water and fire protection, wastewater, drainage, and adequate open space shall be met. RMFHD should not run traffic over long distances of single-family residential-sized streets or neighborhoods and should be located close to arterials or collectors capable of carrying the additional traffic. Multifamily developments are not a buffer between single-family and commercial uses and should be properly buffered from non-residential land uses and traffic, or from pollution and environmental hazards. 25 letters were mailed out to the surrounding property owners, and a legal notice was published in the Advance News Journal. Staff received no response to the letters or the legal notice. Development Services recommending approval of the request to rezone from Residential Multifamily District RMF to Residential Multifamily High Density District RMF HD, as the property meets area requirements and has adequate ingress and egress. The property is not currently compatible with the future land use plan. However, the zoning will allow for reasonable use of the property, and granting the request results in equal treatment of similarly situated properties. If approved, the owner must comply with all city ordinances and city department requirements. This item will go before the City Commission meeting of July 19, 2021 at 4 p.m. And we have no representation.
Okay, thank you. This item requires a public hearing. Is there anybody from the affected area signed up to speak on this item?
No one in the affected area, Mr. Chairman.
Obviously not. Okay, thank you. We'll close the public hearing. I'll open the item up for board discussion. Discussion?
I just had one question. Why the request if it's already zoned multifamily? Isn't it just 5 units? What's the threshold for it to jump over? After 4?
For residential multifamily, it just allows one duplex, one threeplex, or one fourplex. But
That's the
because
max.
it's more than those units, it goes already high density. It's
So once you
considered
get
high
to 5
density.
or over is where it's high density, right? Is that
Over,
correct?
yes, correct, over the 4.
Thank you.
Okay, more discussion? Okay, we'll close the board discussion. Open the floor for motion.
I'll make a motion, Chairman, to approve
Okay,
change of zone.
second,
I'll second.
second, Charlie Ramirez. Okay, all those in favor say aye, raise your right hand.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Next
Item number 2, representing Dr. Narciso Garcia, representing Vanguard Academy, Inc., owner, has filed with the Planning and Zoning Commission a request for a life of the use conditional use permit to allow an institutional use in an agricultural and/or open space district 8O. The property is legally described as being all of Lot 1, Oratory Academy of St. Philip Neri subdivision, and a 10.56 acres tract of land more or less out of Lot 6, Block 8, Luigi McCaw subdivision, Pharr, Hidalgo County, Texas. The property's physical address is 1407 West Moore Road. The property is currently zoned agricultural and/or open space district 8O. The surrounding area is zoned single-family residential district R1 and townhouse residential district RTH to the north. Single-family residential district R1 to the east, residential multifamily high-density district RMFHD to the south, general business district C, and agriculture and/or open space district 8O, and the city limits of Pharr Lake to the west. The area is generally designated for commercial and public, semi-public use in the land use plan. Fire, code, health, and planning recommend approval of the conditional use permit. 122 surrounding property owners were notified of the request by letter, and a legal notice was published in the Advanced News Journal. Staff received 1 telephone call for information only. Development Services is recommending approval of the request for life of the use conditional use permit to allow a school in an agricultural and/or open space district 8O. Applicant shall obtain a certificate of occupancy and meet all city department requirements prior to the issuance of the conditional use permit, as well as being subject to the following conditions set before you. This item will go before the City Commission meeting of July 19, 2021 at 4 p.m. And we do not have any representation.
This item requires a public hearing. Is anybody from the affected areas signed up to speak on this item?
No one in the affected area, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman.
we'll close the public hearing. Open the item up for board discussion.
I just have one question. CUPs are every year? You have to request renewals, or how long are those for?
For the life of the use conditional use permit, they do not have renewals.
So that's
It's a one-time.
like a permanent,
Mhm.
okay.
You're welcome.
I have a question. Do they have an idea how many students will actually be attending that campus?
Yes, they have a rough estimate about 576 for the school year of 2021 to 2022.
Okay. And all of them, all children will be dropped off? Or is there a bus, or what they have, what kind of transportation?
They do have a pickup and drop-off area. In regards to the bus transportation, I couldn't verify to see if that's also something
Yeah.
they would have.
We're going to be facing the same thing that they have on East Kelly. Traffic wrapped around the block for dropping off.
Yes, they do have the bus route that's on there. They do have a entrance off Jackson as well as Moore Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they going to have security?
If they're gonna have a security guard, we can check on that file or check with the applicant.
Yeah, because I mean, before when things were good, did they have off-duty police and directing traffic in that area? Have they addressed any of that?
If they have addressed in regards to the police department assistance, nothing on our record, but we can definitely
No,
check with the
not
applicant.
police department, but actual traffic control.
If they have
I
someone,
guess It would be more along the lines like of like a traffic impact analysis, right?
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the number of students, I think that's what you're alluding to.
Yeah, because they're very close. I mean, it's always been a problem with that campus. And now that Jackson is actually a very major thoroughfare,
correct.
I mean, they've always had problems there.
Chairman,
That's,
if I may,
Yep.
Roland Gomez, Interim Director for Development Services. Currently, what that school has in place, has different times of day. They have a right in and a right out. Okay, and there are signs, posted, on their exits. And, what this specifies is anytime between 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning and anytime between 2:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon, people exiting the parking lot would be unable to turn to the left. They would only have to turn to the right. So what we're wanting to do is, with the authority of the board, is if we can request that on the right out, if they can go ahead and put cones so that there's just no way for them to turn to the left. And maybe have security guards at each exit, just kind of directing traffic.
That
way.
or a concrete barrier, you know how effective this became right here off of 281.
Yes, so
Because-
I did talk to our city engineer, Mr. Ansaldua, and he did mention that in approximately 2 years, more road would be upgraded.
Okay.
And it would be upgraded to a 3-lane road, which you would have the 2 directional streets and then the
Yeah.
turning lane in the
That'll
middle.
You
Correct.
will know that, and I'm just assuming, people will be doing a U-turn right there at the entrance of whichever subdivision they choose. I mean, whoever turned right is gonna make a U-turn to go back to Jackson. I mean, the only thing I see is safety. There's already been issues there in the past. So, are they gonna utilize the Jackson Road entrance? They have another gate
They
there?
will, but like I said, they do have a right in and a right out.
Okay.
So the exit or the exit off of Jackson would only be a right-hand turn lane.
Okay.
So, yeah, that way it doesn't it frees up the traffic and everybody moves a lot quickly.
Got it.
I also think 500 students is still something that can be managed, right?
Yeah,
And hopefully, if it were to
Yeah.
grow bigger than that, then something to look at.
What was the capacity of the
I
high
have
school
no idea. I'm not sure.
previously? I know, 5 years ago, it was big.
Probably around there, yeah, or a little
Yeah,
bit
more,
yeah, a little bit more. So I still think, especially if there's that in the near future on the expansion, then that's definitely gonna help.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
But yeah, something to look at for sure.
Definitely.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Mr. Chairman, this is Jonathan. One of the observations I had is that when I'm going to work, the gates are sometimes closed in the morning, or they're also closed in the afternoon when they're gonna go pick up students. And so that sometimes cars, they start lining up even though the gate's closed. So if they open the gate sooner, that drives traffic in to the actual property, which allows that there not to be too much congestion off of Jackson. That's what I've seen when I go to work.
But, the first 100 people that show up, they are gonna cause a backup. And those 10 acres that they're on does not cover any of that, so. By the time you guys, unless they're gonna stack cars, 2 lanes, 3 lanes, that's probably the only way you're gonna be able to achieve a clearer path on Ridge, on Moore Road, excuse me. But,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do know that at their location off of Kelly, we did mention a staggering
Times.
the times for pickup. So we can definitely discuss that with them as well, and see if they can,
because, it's evident in every campus they got.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Does,
just look here, Sam Houston, same thing.
Right.
does the department have any plan of coming up with a set of set requirements, steps, and to handle the flow of traffic? Because I understand that there'll be different locations and stuff, but the flow of traffic is probably the same thing everywhere, is it? Would be, I mean, a standard set of items that would be fixed already, and then tweak it for any special things that go on at another different location.
Correct. So a few years ago, one of the things that the city did was that write in and write out at certain times of the day. For the most part, it does work. It moves the traffic a lot quickly. It frees up, having people turn over to the left side, and just trying to get everybody out of the parking lot.
And the other two scenarios, their solutions are the staggered times, which kind of offsets, even if it's
Correct.
5-10 minutes, right? It moves traffic.
Right.
And then the other one is to find on-site flow, but in most cases, it's tough to find that, right?
Yes.
Like Charlie said.
Yes.
So,
And this is
But
going to
look
be
at
their
those two
first year
scenarios.
at that location. So,
yeah.
I'm sure there'll be a few growing pains, but definitely we'll see if we can talk to them and tackle everything
Multiple, right.
that we know of now that has occurred at other locations,
Yeah.
to make sure that all those are taken care of.
And hopefully the congestion is not for too long either.
Just think how the scenario is going to be when they do start redoing the highway to a 3-lane. All that construction and then the flow of traffic there, and that's going to be a nightmare.
Yes.
For a little
So,
bit.
yeah. So hopefully, when that does happen, we can make a suggestion to the
Some
crew
network.
to maybe do it during the summer months.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
That's true. Not do it through the school year.
right.
Any further board discussion, Mr. Robles? None? Okay, we'll close the board discussion.
Thanks. Tom.
Open up the floor for any motions.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Second, Mr. Robles. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Raise your right hand. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, the motion carries.
Item number 3, Nain Engineering LLC representing Raul Bocanegra, President for Bocanegra Investments LLC, is requesting preliminary plat approval of the proposed Bocanegra subdivision. The property is legally described as being a 0.54 acre tract of land, being all of lots 1, 2, and the west 22.80 feet of lot 3, and all of lot 23, and the west 16.80 feet of lot 22, block 1, Ula Young subdivision, Pharr, Hidalgo County, Texas. The property is located within the 700 block of West Business Highway 83. The property is currently zoned General Business District C. The adjacent zones are General Business District C to the north, south, east, and west. The property is designated for single-family residential and commercial use in the land use plan. The proposed property use is retail. Variances, none requested. Development Services recommends preliminary plat approval of the proposed Bocanegra subdivision, subject to the following conditions set before you. This item will go before the City Commission of July 19th, 2021 at 4 p.m.
This item does not require a public hearing, so we'll go ahead and open up the board discussion. I had a question on that number 7 on the second page there. Is Moore Road 24-inch sanitary sewer improvements? What does that have to do with this location? Seven?
Under other, number 7, Moore Road 24-inch sanitary sewer improvements, reimbursement. I can look into the file to see where that reimbursement comes from, to see what it entails.
Okay, being that this is gonna be right on the highway there, one thing that comes to mind is the unloading of the vehicles when the a big truck comes in, how are they gonna handle that? Is there anything set for that?
For the unloading of the vehicle, there's nothing for where a business, has, or there's nothing in black and white that indicates where they can unload, anywhere from cars to a Walmart. I mean, everyone has different hours. So if for this specific use on the proposed car lot, they could drive into the car lot, or, as mentioned previously on the building phase, we could take a look at the construction and see how they're proposing the more detailed upgraded site plan of where they're proposing the inventory, the sales, and more of an idea of how they're going to have the updated layout based off the subdivision being finalized.
There's no set process. Wherever they can
For
park, they can
for
unload,
unloading,
they're gonna
for
unload.
unloading of merchandise,
Well, in this case, the vehicles from the car haulers, double-decker car haulers that normally would be used.
no, there's nothing set for in that that tells you where they could unload the merchandise or product. In this case, would be the vehicles.
Mr. Chairman, so once they submit the plans over to us, we'll make sure, one of the requirements that we have is that they have drives. Usually the drives on our, as per our standards, is 24 inches wide. That allows for fire trucks, that allows for vehicles to go in and out of the property. And in this case, they will be required to have some type of drive in there, whether it extends from Business 83 all the way to Polk. We do know that there's going to be some exit gates on Polk for emergency access. Maybe they could utilize, I'm sorry, Park. I'm sorry, Park.
Wait a minute.
Park, yeah, so it'll be on the rear of the property. So maybe we could have them drive in, unload, drive out. But there's different ways to kind of configure that. But we can take a look at that at the building permit stage.
That's something new that's being started.
Correct. Yeah,
Everything west of there has got those canopies in there that the emergency vehicles could not get underneath. those
Yes, sir.
canopies and stuff.
Yes, sir. So yeah, so we do have those minimum requirements, and fire department takes a look at that as well.
So the trucks would be driving there on along Park 2, right, to get in for
Well,
egress and-
right now, all the
Just-
flow of traffic is from Business 83.
Right.
Right. Any exit, because fire department will require an additional exit in the rear of the property, that's going to be for emergency use only.
Yeah. Okay.
But on special occasions, maybe on drop off or pickup or something, we can take a look and we can see exactly what can be available at that location so that we can get the vehicles off the main street.
'Cause I still see some residences there, right? Some homes.
There's a few there, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see the general business, but there's some homes there in there.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why we
Just
don't
to kind
want
of-
that entrance open all the time because of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not really a commercial street, so.
Thanks.
Okay, were they going to just sell cars, or we're going to work on them there too?
Our understanding is it's a car lot. Yeah, sale only.
Okay, any further board discussion? None? Okay, we close the board discussion. Open up the floor for a motion.
I'll make a motion, Chairman, to approve.
I'll go ahead and second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye, raise your right hand. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, next item is announcements and other business.
No new business, Chairman.
No business. Okay, there's only one item left. Adjournment.
Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I move to adjourn. Second.
Second. Okay, all those in favor say aye, raise your right hand.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Gone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Good evening, guys.
Bye-bye.